Story 1. Be mature enough to avoid unnecessary conflicts, problems, and drama. Live your life on your terms and never be a slave to anyone. Story 2. Just go to class. The benefits far outweigh the drawbacks, even though you may not see that. I am just now pulling my life back together because of the poor decisions I made in high school. Story 3. Don't beg for anything. Earn it on your own, or you will end up with nothing. Keep your circle tight. Listen more than you speak. Story 4. Drug users are not, and never will be, your friends. They are just using you and will steal from you. Never drink and drive. You might kill an entire family. Avoid the hospitality and service industry at all costs. It may provide good money when you're young, but it can crush your soul. Working in manual labor will destroy your body and health. You may end up being 40 with the body of a 75-year-old. Any job based on commission is a scam. Story 5. I'm not elderly, only 32, but my doctors estimate I may not reach my golden years due to health reasons, so I can offer a unique perspective. It may sound cliché, but the best advice I can give is to live your life as if those you love might not be here tomorrow because they may not be. Live your life as if you're going to die because you will. Answer that phone call, send that text, and visit your family and friends. Don't sweat the small stuff. Story 6. Everything in life is temporary. Money can be earned again, and relationships can be built. Instead of chasing money, pleasure, or substances in this world where everything is fleeting, find something permanent. Something that never leaves you. Something that energizes you and creates a distance between your true self and surface-level happenings. Once you discover that which never leaves you, it will become your guiding force. Then you won't be fazed by the polarities of life. Story 7. There are 3 types of people in this world. 1. Those who make things happen. Those who watch things happen. Those who do not know what is happening. Story 8. Be patient. Do not put too much pressure on yourself with unrealistic expectations. Progress takes time. Story 9. Do things because you want to, have interests that you are interested in, and be friends with people who want to be friends with you. Do not act in a performative way and do not follow someone or change yourself just because you want to be more like them or you want them to like you. Story 10. Don't waste years of your life trying to make people love, respect, or understand you when they have already shown you they won't. Walk away sooner. Story 11. Do sports. Have a clear goal that motivates you. Also, visit other countries and places as often as possible. You will live your entire life on Earth. Thus, leaving it unexplored is a missed opportunity. You may miss many experiences that could bring you happiness and fulfillment. Story 12. If you can't date her for a week without getting more physical than a kiss, you need to think about why you're with her. This applies the other way as well. I just wrote it from my perspective. Story 13. Do not engage in activities that could result in a child being born until you can afford to live independently, without the assistance of another adult or child, while still having some funds left to save or spend. Story 14. Don't let anyone affect your mood. You have one life to live. You had infinite time to not be alive before you were born, and you will have infinite time to not be alive when you're gone. That little time in between, no matter how long it is, live it. Don't let anyone spoil it. Story 15. Cocaine is a dangerous and unappealing drug. It is neither glamorous nor suitable for parties, and the higher the quality of the cocaine, the more this holds true. It is important to stay away from it and from those who use it, especially today with fentanyl being mixed into bags of cocaine. Story 16. If your job, hobby, or other situation in life requires you to perform any type of stressful repetitive motion every day, ensure you have proper form and stretch beforehand. I have been playing guitar in multiple bands for decades, practicing for 10 to 20 hours a week while also working a physical job that sometimes requires my right arm and shoulder to be in awkward positions. Over the past year, I developed severe pain in my shoulder and rotator cuff. It began bothering me when I had to move my arm in the ways that my job and music require. I have finally managed to alleviate the pain with stretching and by paying close attention to how I lift and move. For a while, I was quite depressed about it, and it became a hindrance. I didn't experience this until I was 35 years old, and I thought, oh no, this is years of improper form catching up to me. I am not even that old, but I am starting to notice the gradual consequences of issues that began over a decade ago. Story 17. That relationship you are in, where you argue all the time but love each other. Get out now. Marriage shouldn't be a challenge. It should make you happy. If you aren't happy, then adding a child to it will only make it worse. Get out of it now. Story 18. Seriously, don't try to get into a relationship. I know you might feel like you're the only one who isn't in one, but trust me, it's better to have no experiences than to have only those that end badly. Story 19. Have a vision and the self-discipline to orient yourself toward it. If you only follow your impulses, you will lack structure after your brain has finished developing and will only seek short-term pleasure. Story 20. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start something. It doesn't exist. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Also, wear sunscreen. Story 21. Don't be too quiet in your romantic relationship, thinking you are doing something for your partner or the relationship. You need to feel loved and understood, or you will leave the relationship sooner or later. Story 22. Everything is about your relationship with other people. Become skilled at interacting with others. This applies mainly to work, but also to general interactions. If you struggle with this, then romantic or sexual relationships may become challenging. Story 23. Unless you are specifically trained for it, do not be your parents' end-of-life or dementia caregiver. The physical and mental challenges you will encounter can have a significant impact on your well-being. Story 24. Death will come. I had 4 family members from the same side die within 4 years, including my father. I didn't have that on my bingo card. Completely changed my perspective on work. It showed me what true friendship looks like and began my journey into therapy and becoming a better person. If there are people in your life whom you love, find ways to spend meaningful time with them. Story 25. Don't follow your passion for work. Choose something you don't mind that pays well and offers secure employment. Many people enter low-paid, insecure jobs because they seem interesting only to face difficult lives. Let your hobbies and interests be enjoyable activities in your own time. Story 26. Sometimes taking care of yourself can feel unappealing, but it's worth it. Your friends may forget how impressed they were, and the pain you experience or the pain you caused will outlast their goodwill. Consider wearing earplugs at concerts, or one day the ringing in your ears after a concert may not go away. Story 27. 1. Quit social media. Avoid purchasing unnecessary items. Invest your money. Exercise every day. Story 28. Sadly, failing and learning from your own experiences is the strongest memory one can have. So, fail quickly, fail safely, survive, and learn. Story 29. Start saving money now. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now. Every single paycheck, put money aside, even if it's only $5. Place it in a bank account at a location you normally don't use so it's not tempting to withdraw it. Don't use this money unless it's a critical emergency. When it accumulates enough, consult a professional to invest it in low-risk options. No, a car is not an emergency. Also, don't buy overpriced cars. Cheap and used is the way to go. Reduce your costs as often as possible. No, you don't need a big apartment yet. No, you don't need to buy a house early. Need a couch? Try garage sales, online marketplaces, or social media platforms. Hungry? Cook. You don't need to be good at cooking to make your own burger. Don't tell anyone about your savings, especially family. This is your business. Generally, if people think you have money, they will try to spend it or constantly ask you for money. You have one life. No respawn. You're on your one and only hardcore run in this world. Treat that life with the same seriousness you would in a game. You matter. Story 30. Marry a person you can be friends with. Looks and interests will change, but if you marry someone who is compatible with you, life becomes much easier. Story 31. Learn to communicate honestly and without assigning blame. Learn to critique people kindly. Realize that almost nothing people do is about you. Anger, lashing out, and lack of empathy are almost always internal issues from the person displaying those emotions or actions. A 20-minute tidy at the end of every day will save you much effort and stress. Have a balanced diet and move your body. Know yourself. Understand your personality, triggers, emotional boundaries, and reactions. Be honest with yourself about why you do, say, or feel things. Kindness is not something you give to people as a reward. Story 32. You honestly think a young person is going to read this and change their life? If so, get off Reddit and other social media. Start a non-digital hobby that you can improve at over time. Story 33. Here is your refined text. You don't get to the top by sitting idly. Wealthy people invest rather than save. No amount is too small to invest, whether it is £10, £100, or £500, as long as you are investing. Don't chase superficial or temporary things like love, alcohol, or drugs. Focus on long-term goals and work towards achieving them. Love and affection are real, but you have to work to build these with the right person. Do not feel inferior about your looks or body. The marketing standard for an ideal body, chiseled muscles for men and full lips and a larger chest for women, is a facade. Eat healthily, walk for about 20 to 30 minutes daily, and you'll be fine. Story 34. Pause and reflect on your surroundings. Build a healthy circle of friends. You are the sum of the people around you. Story 35. Don't rush into post-secondary education if you are unsure what to study. Those days are over. Take a year after high school to get a job or volunteer in an industry you are passionate about. Then consider college if that is what you want to pursue. Story 36. Everything changes always for everyone. There is no time in life when you can rest on your achievements. Life is full of mystery and new ideas throughout. Story 37. Friends are forever. Keep them close. Be kind and considerate to everyone you meet. Your happiness in life will depend on how you treat others and how they treat you. Remember, it's all fun and games until someone buys a plane ticket. Always carry a litter bag in your car. When it gets full, simply dispose of it properly. Story 38. Talk less, listen. Get wise quickly by watching. Learn when to be patient and when to act. Do not brag, just do it. Nothing matters except what truly matters. Story 39. The difference between an A and an A+ project or paper can be 4 additional hours, and in the end, they both result in an A grade on paper. Save your time and effort for things that matter. Story 40. Make mistakes and do foolish things while you can. Just stay away from hard drugs, keep an eye on your finances, and always remember to use protection. A regrettable tattoo you got in your 20s or a failed relationship won't ruin your life. However, an addiction to meth, significant credit card debt, and an unplanned child can. Story 41. Go places and see things. Be present. Make love to someone you find beautiful. Don't do something if it's not what you want just because you're expected to. Eat foods from other cultures, even if they're unusual parts of the animal that you would have never thought to eat or would not typically see on any menu. There is some good eating in some of those organs. Laugh hard. Don't misuse drugs. Remember that a mind stretched to a new idea never returns to its original dimension. Oh yes, it cuts both ways. Story 42. If you are ready to choose a job, select one with fewer working hours, as this usually comes with a lower salary. However, trust me, you will discover more about yourself and ultimately achieve great things in life. Story 43. The more realistic your expectations are, the more peace you will feel. This is what I have experienced in my life, and it can help you. If you set unrealistic expectations for people or things, you will end up getting hurt. Story 44. Nothing was given to me. I have worked and struggled for a long time to achieve and maintain the lifestyle you see. It can be done, but it takes time and effort. There will be some difficult jobs you have to do. Just complete them and move on. Story 45. Confront your emotions and listen to yourself. We evolved over millions of years, and some of the adaptations that were necessary for that task are no longer as useful in our current society. Understanding and having control over your emotions is as close to having a superpower as you can get. Story 46. Lay off alcohol and drugs. Travel outside your country. Avoid causing drama in your personal or professional life. Story 47. Find a good therapist. Live a sober life. Contribute to your retirement savings. Stay out of debt. If you don't have the cash, you can't afford it. Story 48. Treat people how you would like to be treated. It is a simple concept, but many people seem to have never grasped the message. Story 49. Do your best, but let go of the rest. This means that if you can influence the outcome by preparing, do it. However, stop wasting mental energy on things outside of your control. Story 50. Live the life you want to live, not the one expected of you. Always be respectful to people, as you might need them in the future. Story 51. Don't get upset about your first breakup. It happens to everyone. Focus on yourself and not on what society and family expect of you. Just be yourself and you will do great. Story 52. Seek expert advice even if you have to pay for it. It is impossible for one person to contain all of life's experiences. Borrow other people's knowledge whenever and wherever you can. Getting insurance? Seek advice. Buying a car? Seek advice. Buying a house? Seek advice. Choosing a career? Seek advice. Ensure the advice comes from various perspectives and professionals. When buying a house, get a builder or general contractor inspection, but also consult specific tradespeople. Have an engineer evaluate the property and ask a different real estate agent to walk through it. Gather as much input as you can. Story 53. I'm not old, but I thought a life full of parties and women made me a successful person when I was younger. Admittedly, it lasted longer than I would have liked. It turns out success comes from much simpler and more attainable means. You just have to realize it and start moving in that direction instead of the one you were on before. Story 54. Don't enter a relationship simply because you are afraid of being alone. If you have a gut feeling that something is not right, it will not get fixed. It will only get worse. Story 55. If you smoke or vape, stop it now. It doesn't get any easier to quit. This is the perspective of a 62-year-old who smokes. Story 56. Understand that most people lack ethics. Criminal behavior is often rewarded, and individuals with psychopathic traits tend to ascend to positions of power across various sectors. Bullies frequently succeed. When you find yourself in a situation of need, danger, poverty, or having experienced abuse, remember that true altruism is rare. Anyone offering to help you, unless they are your mother or you did not have an abusive mother, may be predatory, seeking to exploit the vulnerable. The most targeted individuals for exploitation, whether through sexual abuse or scams, are often those who have just escaped such situations or individuals trying to recover lost funds. Story 57. 1. Explore all options first. Don't just stick to the first one that appears. It's okay to put your dreams on the back burner temporarily. This is coming from someone who is nearly 40 years old and only just started running her own food business in late 2023. I have always dreamed of having my own restaurant as a child. Don't give up any of your interests just because others aren't into them. Odds are people will start to appreciate them later on. Don't let a traumatic experience hold you back. You are stronger than this and you can overcome it. Even if you have to look up to a fictional character to help you overcome your challenges, then so be it. Thank you, Edward Elric. Story 58. Usually, the cool kids in school become unremarkable individuals in adult life, often lacking anything interesting about them. I refer to them as eternal students who missed the opportunity to mature. Story 59. Try to do what seems to be the right thing, and when you make mistakes or do something wrong, learn from the experiences rather than repeat the same errors. In other words, live and learn. Story 60. For women, always be financially self-reliant. Get qualified and forge a career. Do not change behaviors to make others like you. Do not tolerate poor treatment from others. Respect your right to make your own decisions. Choose a close circle of exceptional women friends. They will be your support system. Story 61. Realize that sometimes you may be the toxic one, and take a serious look at yourself and who you are. Are you always playing the victim? Do you frequently blame others for your choices and actions? Do you rely on your family and friends for all your activities and needs while neglecting to support them when they need you? By taking accountability for your choices and actions, acknowledging your mistakes, and genuinely striving to improve, you can find life easier to navigate. Story 62. Live life, don't be afraid, and follow your heart. Try not to get worked up about things you cannot change, and take some risks for the things you enjoy in your life. You only live once, and as you grow older, life will flash before your eyes. Story 63. Do not use drugs. I wasted 35 years of my life on that path. I could have achieved so much more if I had never taken that route. Marijuana, alcohol, and cocaine kept me stuck in a never-ending cycle. In the end, all I had were false friends, poor health, and poverty. Story 64. Don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't use drugs, and stay out of hospitals. If you must vent, do not do it on social media. Story 65. Do not waste time on non-issues. Refrain from saying everything you think. Avoid judging others. Observe the world in its true context. Story 66. Focus on long-term goals. Work on them. Stay consistent. And do not give up. Everything gets easier with time. Remember, you do not hate it, you just struggle with it for now. Practice makes perfect, so keep moving forward. Story 67. When I was in my early 20s, the best advice I received from an older person I barely knew was, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. For about 10 years, I did exactly the opposite before I realized that the experiences I truly wanted in life wouldn't just happen. I had to make them happen. So, I made significant changes in my life that have brought me a world of happiness. Story 68. Never look for perfect people, and do not judge your significant other based on your ideal image. No one is born perfect, and not a single person comes with a guideline for life or relationships. Relationships are like houses. You have to build them from the ground up. Do not expect mansions from the start. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.